Welcome back to Marbella Now. My name is Nicole King. Well, this is Darling. I probably should introduce her. She's on the program so often. We have a fabulous lineup of really different guests this week, giving you an insight into the colourful people that make up our fabulous city. Stay tuned.
Let the music get to your heart. Let it set you on your way. No time to hesitate. We are all the same. So much trouble tearing us apart. Poison arrows shoot straight to your heart. We can change if we try. Just believe it's worth your time.
Last week, I was so honoured to be invited to talk at the luncheon for MBI, which is a great business networking group that was started in 1982. So the pioneers of hashtag Better Together here in Marbella. And this lovely young lady, Sandy, was sitting opposite me at lunch, and I finally had a chance to say more than just a wave and a hello as we cross our paths as we have done over the last few years. So Sandy, it was lovely to actually meet you.
Yes.
That was a pleasure.
And it was a pleasure to meet you as well.
I can't wait to find out more about you. It sounds like you've had a very exciting life in Marbella. How long have you actually been here?
Well, I came in the 80s for a couple of years and then went on to work in Geneva. Changed my whole life around and then lived in Paris and eventually ended up in New York. Got married, had a child there, or not there, back in London. But then I've slowly, after coming back to England for many years, or London, I decided to come down here about 10 years ago.
Can I ask what you were doing, all those travelling around? What was your profession that took you to those wonderful cities?
I started out as a commercial artist, graphic designer, photographer, but I became a junior Miss Rhodesia because I grew up in Rhodesia, and at the age of 15, 16. And so the modelling took over, and when I went to London I was mostly with fashion and modelling, television, for many years, and carried on with that, which is more lucrative than sitting over a desk, slaving away.
And a lot more fun.
And
but
more
I imagine
fun.
More demanding than we would think, no, being a fashion model.
Well, it's hard work, because when you're standing for 12, 15 hours on the shows like in Paris, London, Milan, it is very grueling. And then you've got to be up very early, made up, and then at night time you're always out with all the clients and everything. So yes, it's quite demanding.
This week on our show we've got a young lady who's a budding actress, and she's also starting off in the modelling profession. What advice would you give to someone? What are the things that they should look out for? What are the tips that you could share with someone starting in such a competitive and demanding career?
Well, it's a bit like a cattle market, because you've got to build up a nice portfolio, and you have to go to all these castings, and if you're lucky you get the job.
How does it feel? How does one deal with being told no? We're always hearing that the best people and the most successful people at first failed. How does one deal with that? Because you're selling yourself basically, not a product. They're saying yes or no to you.
I suppose it was like I put up with a buffer. It didn't really bother me. You either got it or you didn't. I didn't have any casting couch experiences, although almost one. I won't mention any names because it's too famous. So I only encountered that once, and in fact the person said to me, "Have you got a boyfriend?" Which I did, who's very famous now, He said, I suggest you're too good for this business, go home to your boyfriend, which I did, and I laughed and walked out. And that person was actually Ken Todd, who's married to Hollywood housewives Lisa Vanderpump. So I was with him for many years in London.
I had no idea. Oh my God, how exciting. I remember him.
Yeah, Ken Todd.
And his Diddy men? No, I wasn't Ken Todd.
No, Todd.
Oh, Ken Todd.
No, he was in the rag trade in Kensington. So I kind of grew up in London, in Kensington, Chelsea, all those areas, and mostly West End fashion people, which I'm still very much in contact. And we have a reunion in London every year, which is marvellous. One of my friends owns the Marigot Hotel in St Lucia, who has just decided now he wants to spend some more time, so he's bought a lovely flat in West Sussex, and he owned Che Guevara in Kensington originally.
So, I mean, you really are a who's who of where's where and what's what.
Yes, I would say that, yes.
So now back in Marbella, do they come and visit you, or do you always go and...
Usually I see them in London, but a few of them do come out here, sometimes in a group, and they stay a bit further down the coast, and I go to see them.
What did your family think about your acting career as a choice,
well,
and your modelling,
my
modelling
mother
career?
and sister kind of pushed me to it, because they knew I would
I mean, with a face like that, I mean, how can you not? It's like certain things just lend themselves.
But when I was younger, it was a lot better, obviously. I mean, it was really easy to do for me, yes. And I got on very well with it in England, and I spent a lot of time in Ibiza as well with this man, Ken Todd, who's famous in Los Angeles. They've got restaurants now as well, and but he no longer is really part of our, say, Kensington group that we were. But I've just been with a group of them this weekend who came out here, and so we had a lovely time, lunch on the beach, and
but it's lovely that you maintain that relationship, and that you still have all those memories to share together, and making new ones, which is the most exciting. With the MBI group, it's lovely to see, again, very much a group. I'm not going to say a clique, but very much you can see that you're all very much in tune with each other, very supportive, and that you've been through a lot together.
Yes,
that
I've been with them about 8 years, I think. And Paul Young, who was sitting sort of opposite you, he's been one of my longest term friends here for about 19 years since I've been coming out, and he was as is Campbell Ferguson, he's in surveying, property business, and Paul Young built a lot of properties here, and I think he even worked to sign. He's one of the people who can sign off. For example, the Gibraltar, the Ocean Village had to be signed off because of I believe something to do with the foundations. I'm not really into.
But that was one of the impressive things, that people who are groups, and again, it's emblematic of the Marbella then, that was much smaller, much closer knit, but the type of people that belonged to the club was absolutely fascinating, in the sense we could do program after program of speaking to people like yourself with such interesting, colourful stories.
Well, most of them are vetted because of their business acumen, and that's why I was brought in initially to do the Conferi de Sabrador, which is sabering the champagne bottles off. I came in first to do one of those, but then they realised that I had a history as a trader and various things like that. So I was, working, as I said, I went to Geneva to work as a gold trader at that stage, and changed my whole profession. And then I carried on with that, and I went to live in West Africa with my ex-husband, and diamond trading, gold, diamonds. He's still in that.
And that's another world unto itself.
Yes, we're going around West Africa.
Did you see horrors? Or what was it like when you actually
go? It was before the Blood War. But, I mean, there's always some... I never really saw anything horrific in Africa, even growing up in Zimbabwe, as it's called now, because I left quite soon. And it was a wonderful, charming life to grow up there, beautiful country. And then I just wanted to be in Europe. America didn't really turn me on, I have to say. I mean, New York is wonderful, but I don't know about being married in New York. It just wasn't me, America. But although I've got still some friends there, I have no desire to go back.
Where are you from originally?
I was born in South Africa, but
So that's where you started off, and I wasn't sure if you'd moved there when you were young.
My family went up because my father was an engineer, raising productions of gold mining. So
I mean, you've always had this very interesting life. I mean, you had a very different start than most people.
Yes, very different.
We were chatting before, and you were saying you have over here in the beautiful harbour restaurant in the Marbella harbour, and you were saying that you actually have your own little boat, but down in the fishing port of Marbella.
Well, it's not little; it's 50 foot, Super America, Riva. So that is in the next port down.
When did that passion start for the sailing and for the water?
I had a speedboat in Ibiza, so I was also very into water skiing and trick skis and all that stuff. So the 70s for me, Ibiza was the place, really. And I had an apartment there many years, and I spent most of my time when I wasn't working there or traveling to India with the fashion group, and Hong Kong, where a lot of the fashion industry makes their clothing and then brings it back to the shows. So I was always traveling there, and I tried to go back and see my family every year.
Gosh, so, you don't stop, huh?
No, I never stopped. I was always all over the place, and then I eventually started to. Well, I started living back in London in '98, I think it was. Because I wanted my daughter to go to school there, and I split with my husband, of course, but that was inevitable. And I was going out a lot on boats on the River Thames, and then I started my own luxury charter boat company called Chelsea Charters. Of course, as I was living in Chelsea Harbour, and I took it over from a guy who still worked for me, but we owned about 4 boats, and then slowly they petered out. And I came out. She had to bring my daughter to a small school to try and finish her education, and I felt like a change, but I was going to go back for all the big jobs, and unfortunately he just buried it into the ground and moved here, which was the worst nightmare of my life. And I eventually got rid of him, but I missed the business, although it was very hard work, because there was also a lot of catering on the river. And so whether you're the director, you're still sometimes front of house, running around in the kitchen, here, there, doing everything. But it was marvellous. And then I brought the boat out here. And
how are you adapting to being maybe a little quieter in your day-to-day than in the old days? You enjoying the rest, or do you keep yourself really busy?
I still am quite busy. I still go out quite a lot here to various parties and openings and all that stuff, but I don't do as much in the day, because but I still do trading. So I carry on with that.
You just never know who you're sitting next to in Marbella. You can't say it enough. Sandy, it's been lovely to have just a quick chat, a little bit of an insight into your history, and that is the calibre of the people who make up our most amazing cosmopolitan city.
It is.
It was really, really a pleasure to chat with you, and I look forward to seeing you around now and actually saying I know you.
Yes, absolutely. Lovely to talk to you.
You too, Sandy.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
Okay.
The last time I was here at the Puente Romano was to see none other than... Who came, Sergio? Tell us, who came to Puente Romano?
Robert.
De Niro! Oh my God. It was, I've never seen so many people at a press conference.
Yes, it's
Wasn't
true.
it fabulous?
It was amazing, not only for Puente Romano, but also for Marbella, for Spain, actually, and for us it was an honor to have him in here. So very happy, very happy.
It really was, it was lovely. It was, so many people were here. At first it took him a while to warm up. And I'm not so sure if he was shy, if he was jet lagged, but it was nice to see at the end how he relaxed everyone together. The mayoress was here. It really was fun evening. Probably one of the best Marbella's seen in a long time. Having the new Nobu Hotel here now as well with a restaurant, what's that like for Puente Romano? What's that?
It's right. It's really nice actually, because for us it's an experience too to have 2 hotels in one actually. Working all as one and together. So it's a challenge because it's the first time actually that we're doing it. But on the other hand, it's really fun because you have like 2 types of clientele. I mean, one, as you know, Nobu Hotel is an adult hotel, and Puente Romano all working at once with the same people, same staff, and all coming very smoothly through the excellent to the guests at the end. So it is really nice to have it.
It really is. Hashtag better together in action, putting together strong brands so that the mutual support really is just means that you can only just keep going up and up. It's nice, no? It's having that help to be able together to carry on growing, and the Puente Romano is growing. We've got a whole safari of restaurant tour you can go on. It's like walking through a magical garden. Everything is so lush. The gardens are so beautiful. Walking down here with Anastasia, and first you're rushing and it's like, no. Do you know what I mean? Like, you have to, let's stop here, let's feel that. It's a big commitment to maintaining this, not just the restaurants, but this whole infrastructure.
And absolutely truth, because I know the employees that are looking after the gardens in here, the gardeners, and I can tell you that there are many. So yes, it's got a big work to do it. They doing an excellent job. Even before Puente Romanos got this magical award in 2016 about the best resort in Spain, it was the gardens when actually used to take all the awards before than the hotel. So now with the spa, actually that 2018 is got the Condé Nast best spa in Spain. So
congratulations.
I think that thank you very much. And I think that the 3 of them is like making a circle that is helping each other to make a very good resort.
But it really is, in the sense, the resort, even the last 6 years that I've been closely coming and watching this growth, to have an owner of a resort that is so open. And sometimes when you inherit from parents, things go to pot, but it's been quite the other way. I mean, it really is wonderful to see that together, and giving all the staff and you and all your colleagues the faith in letting you guys grow as
Absolutely.
with this where we're sitting now, which we are so privileged to have a sneak preview in what is now going to be Pizza Romano. I mean, this is very cool. And again, another concept, another twist, and another reason, not just for the guests to not want to ever leave the resort, but for the residents also to come in, enjoy. As I said, walking through, it was like, oh, okay, we're in Marbella. Breathe. So what's about to happen in this very special space, Sergio?
Benvenuti.
Grazie.
Right, actually, Pizza Romano, as you were mentioned, the owner, right, I have to say, such a lucky we are actually to have him, because he's a visionary and a dreamer who makes things happen. To be honest, we all need to thank him, because right, we always do the job and making it happen also. I mean, management obviously, but he's very
he makes it exciting.
He's making it exciting, and he's got wonderful ideas. So this is another one. and that's another one. So why not to create Italian at daytime, not only for guests but also for people in Marbella who wants to come and enjoy the spectacular views of a pool and have a very interactive concept, dynamic, and with waiters and kitchen working as one to make a different concept, but 100% Italian.
It sounds maravilloso. It sounds so delicious. I have to say that spaghetti bolognese is one of my favorite. I've been looking through the menu and I didn't even get to finish it because it was like, oh, this looks good. That sounds nice. Again, with vegetarian options and
Absolutely.
catering to all tastes. So we're going to leave a little bit about the interaction there for a while. We will be coming back to Pizza Romano, but before we go, I would like to carry on just mentioning some of the other culinary delights on this safari, this culinary safari that you've got. One of my favorites, and I have to say, my kids also, and they're vegan, which is a step further than vegetarian, and it's not easy to go to a fine dining and have anything other than sides. And yes, for example, the Sea Grill, they love the truffle risottos, and I mean, there is a lot of choice. The views are amazing, and I don't know if it's the same interactive yet as you're talking here, but there also, it's a very personal experience. The staff are very personal.
Yes,
you feel very welcome.
Absolutely.
It's a very different experience than in other five-star, Grand Lujo restaurants.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And right, as you say about the interaction, this is the concept that we want to give and provide to our clientele now. Why? I'm coming from a catering school. All right, I remember working with a réchaud and a sauté and a guéridon, cooking in front of the client. And this has been always a passion. I mean, it's been a tradition, right. Nowadays, it's really, really difficult to find this type of concept because, I mean, normally the restaurants that does it, so are like very traditional, are like all, right, in here we're trying to fusion all this tradition with dynamic, all right? So it's not going to be bored, it's not going to be very serious, but you're going to have the service of a guéridon. And yes, Petit Sea Grill is doing it also, okay? So
this is a new concept. I haven't been there yet, but there was a beautiful space there, very comfortable. But when I went for dinner the other 3 weeks ago, and I saw the Petit Sea Grill there. Now, what is that? Tell us about that. What is the sea? Because it's like a little sea grill. It looks
exactly.
very.
Why Petit Sea Grill? Petit Sea Grill becomes actually grows from actually its mother, which is the Sea Grill. Which we were giving an offer to the clients at daytime. It was a great buffet, seafood, all type of meats. I mean, a very, very big buffet. And at nighttime, it was an a la carte dinner restaurant. So we were like having a lot of demanding of clients who just wanted a salad, who just wanted like something small for a lunch, so we were like, wow, I mean, in here, it's spectacular views, it's like a very great location, but at the end of the day, something is missing for those people who just want a light meal, right? And so is when it became Petit Sea Grill. Petit Sea Grill, it is located at the top floor restaurant, so the views from that floor, because it's a little bit higher, are
It's still at the
really,
swimming pool, but it's just that level higher.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's very informal in a way that you can have lunch, sit down, you can have lunch in a high table, where right, and obviously the waiters are coming and honestly, they're cooking for you. They are cooking for you, and they specialize in sophisticated tapas. And don't get me wrong, it's really, really quality price. Actually, what you're paying over there, nothing. I mean, everybody welcome. Everybody come and enjoy for a very, very reasonable price.
I think that would be a good point actually to just highlight. The other day we were talking to someone about weddings and different events and things, and I said, oh, have you thought about maybe the Puente Romano? And they're like, oh no, like terrified of the price. And It's one thing when we see when coming for dinner at the different restaurants, the prices here are not what I think a lot of people think. You're getting excellent views, quality service, the excellence of the food, and you can go other places that really the prices are similar or higher and you're not getting the same thing. So don't be scared to come in and check it out. Really don't. No, it's
we will
like
look after you.
no, really do. It's absolutely wonderful. We have to leave it there for today, but
Fantastic.
I would hope after this sneak preview into this fabulous place, we'll show a little bit, but not too much, because when it's all set up, we'll come back to Pizza Romano. Molto bene, Montecatini.
Molto bene, molte capini, and ciao.
E ciao, Villa d'Este. Spaghetti bolognese. Free taxi 4 times a month and 25% discount on your car insurance if you're the Zero Hero. I was ever so pleased to hear that the teatro, the wonderful dining theatre experience, will drive you home if you need to not have you drinking and driving. These are wonderful incentives which complement our Zero Hero incentive. Together with the Road Traffic Safety Foundation Linea Directa and the car insurance company Linea Directa, we're really doing a lot to try and make more awareness in our Marbella community that we are 147 different nationalities signed on the town census, and we're all driving on the same 27-kilometre stretch of road, any which way but loose, which means we are kind of at risk, particularly if we're going out to dine and then have a drink and then get in our cars. We might be over the limit without realising it. So places like the harbour, the Playwrights, Beckett's, the Boardwalk, the Red Chiringuito, the Kempinski Bayer Hotel, the Urban Villa, the Hard Rock Cafe, and so many more I can't think right now. Babylonia, Tibu, the Portside are becoming part of this Zero Hero project. If you go out with your friends and you're the designated driver, they're not going to charge you for your soft drinks. Why be punished for doing the right thing? If you have a business that would like to get involved with this project, please contact us, because all participating businesses will be supported not only by Me Marbella Radio and Marbella Now with our TV Marbella and the Town Hall, but also will be given extra coverage in newspapers like RTN, Euroweekly and the Marbella Rocks magazine, which have been the first to jump on board with this fabulous incentive. We are #so much better together.
Hey, it's a brand new day.
Sometimes we don't realise how time goes by until we look at our children. And sitting next to me is a lovely young lady. Her name is Veronica, and I've basically seen her grow up as neighbours in Madrid. She is now a budding model, actress, movie star. Everything is on her horizon. And it's lovely that she's now in Marbella and to take the opportunity to have a quick chat with you as a grown-up. It's still hard to realise that you are now fully grown up, travelling the world. You've already been in a movie. You've just finished an acting degree. You just graduated.
Yes.
So let's start
Yes.
there. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
So where were you studying? What did you do? What's the thing you've just finished?
Well, I did a major, 2-year course, more like that, for acting in cinema, theater, and TV, and it was amazing. Actually, yeah, it was a 2-year progress, learning about all of the process of acting, the different process, because it's very different for movies, for theater, and for TV. It might look the same, but actually it's a completely different world from one to another. So,
What did you find the most exciting in all those different aspects? What appealed to you the most?
well, for me it was theater, because when I decided, when I felt like I wanted to be an actress, I was completely sure I wanted to be in movies and TV. Like digital media was my thing. I was a little bit afraid of theater, like eye-to-eye contact with people. It's just right there. You don't have a chance for making any mistakes. And when I did these 2 years that I did theater. We did Romeo and Juliet. And then I got the chance to do Tres Sombreros de Copa from
Oh, wow, yes.
Miura, that I love. I found the experience completely revealing, amazing. You
What was
get
it,
a rush
from the people
from the people
yeah.
that is completely different from cinema or TV.
It's funny because we were just talking with the when Romani was saying about how you can't capture perhaps the best essence of their gardens, which is that beautiful aroma, and that's the same thing that on screen to capture that live audience, that the exhilaration. So this is where you feel that you'd like to go now into theatre? Is that would be your first pursuit?
No, I still think my goal is to do cinema and TV. Like I really love the magic of creating something out of
The illusion.
the illusion. Yeah, exactly. But for sure, I'll be doing a lot of theater. I hope, because it's where you get the most experience. Like it's the way to start, I think.
You already have over 10,500 followers on Instagram. Your modeling aspect is also very important. I mean, having a face like that, how can it not? This interaction, you see the power. Your age group has an understanding, I think, of the power of the social media that my age group really just can't grasp. How do you move in that world, Vero? What is that magic there?
Well, I actually, before I started studying acting, I was doing mass communication and journalism. So I had a first contact with social media and all the tools that and the things that you can get positive. Because nowadays we're surrounded by social media and people is tended to think it is bad. You know that we're so engaged with social media, we're forgetting the real life. But I think for your job, in my case, my career as an actress, it could be a key, you know. Nowadays, my group of age is completely tied to social media. Like you look for news in the social media. You look for contact with your friends, family, through social media. So
You also choose where to go out. Is everything based
where
on
to
that?
go out, if you choose a place or another, everything moves around social media.
This has come in your lifetime, in the sense of Facebook was born when you were probably about 12.
Yeah, exactly.
So you've really, the generations after you won't know any different. So how do
Exactly.
you feel about that, seeing how you were before, seeing how immersed you are in it now? Where do you think this is going to take kids of the next generation?
Yeah, well, I think it is a risk. I mean, to disconnect from reality. But as long as you focus on social media as a job or to produce something that it may help you on your journey as an actress,
Have a
model,
reason behind it.
as a reason behind it, I think it's great, actually. I've been working on my social media, my Instagram, for about 2 years when I started my acting career. It's growing little by little, organic, and it's helping me a lot. It gives you the opportunity to reach people that otherwise will never see or meet you. Or
It's lovely to see that not only through your studies for the acting career, but as for yourself, your English is impeccable, and having grown up with her in Madrid, I know it's not your first language. You
No.
come from a Colombian Spanish mixed family, so Spanish is your first language. I'm
Spanish
sitting
is my
here
first.
just blown away at how good your English is.
Well, thank
Do you
you.
think your acting has helped you in your day to day? It's like something, you seem so confident in yourself. You think it's helped you all round, learning how to, as you say, talk to someone face to face?
yeah, definitely. I mean, for me, I wanted to be an actress, I think, all my life. It was like a faraway dream, you know, a fairy tale. More. And one reason was because I was very, very shy. Very shy, very nervous, and it seemed almost impossible. And it was 2 years ago that when I was studying mass communication and journalism, because I was so attracted to live with camera, you know, behind and in front of the camera, that I thought I couldn't do in front. So I started studying mass communication and journalism to at least be on the behind scenario. And they called me to do the casting for the movie, and I couldn't refuse. I was like, I'm not missing it. Like, I have to do it. If I don't do it, then I'll regret. Maybe I don't get it. I'm not gonna get it, I thought. And then I did. I did the movie, and I proved myself that I could do it.
Can we see this movie? Tell us a bit more about the movie. I got goosebumps hearing about it. I know that must have been very exciting.
It was. It was for many reasons. One, because it was my dream, that I thought it was impossible. Two, because I thought I was so shy and so nervous that I could never get to do it, and I did. I proved myself that I could. And third, I mean, I think it was a great experience overall. I got the chance to be with my mom the whole process, that it was very special too. So the movie is a romantic comedy. It's a Colombian-American production, and it's a crazy story. It's all based in a house. The owner of the house is this woman that has been like, you know, a legend on the cinema. She was a great actress. She got many Oscars, but now she's agoraphobic. She can't go out of the house, and she lives in a huge house. And so because she can't go out, she rents the bedrooms. So there we come, all the rest of the cast. They all different personalities, and it's very nice. The thing I like the most of the movie is that it makes you see other view of Colombia, makes you fall in love with the city, with Bogota in this case, again.
We have also many misconceptions of places from just what we hear. You get to travel between Spain, Madrid, Marbella, Miami, Colombia.
Yeah.
That in itself is an education, no, Veronica?
For me, the most important, education. Like when you get to travel around and meet different people from different cultures, that opens your mind a lot. So in that case, I'm very lucky.
Well, before we finish, I just want to, let's get the name of the movie so we can...
Well, the movie is Monserrate como el Cerro. There's a cerro, I don't know, in Colombia, in Bogota, that is very famous. And the name is Monserrate, like the girl from the movie in this case.
Well, we look forward to seeing that, and also I believe it's been nominated for some film festivals, so we'll have to keep an eye on that.
Yes.
And I can only just congratulate you. You just never know in the world where small acorns and where they're going to end up. So I'm really excited to have you. I know you come back to Marbella frequently. The Latino Awards is one of the things that you come in for.
Yes.
And it's nice to see that we're getting that Central Latin American mix here in Marbella. And maybe you didn't know, but Marbella is actually twin towns with Miami Beach.
Yes.
So maybe we can set up something with Vero, doing something when you're in Miami and sending some little snippets from Marbella now.
Of course. I'm actually living now on Thursday. So whatever you need, whatever you want.
Wonderful. And how can we follow you on Instagram?
Well, my Instagram is Vero Gregory. My name, Vero Gregory. And yeah, I'll be there.
Looking for, as I say, we had 10,500, then I added in 10,501 or 10,502, and that's how it works, isn't it?
Yes.
Getting to know you.
Little by little and getting, yeah.
Well, we're looking forward to getting to know you a lot more and seeing a lot more things, and I'm just delighted for you. Thanks so much for delaying your trip just a little bit to come on Marbella now.
No,
Quite honoured.
Thank you for having me on the show.
The first of many, I'm sure.
I hope.
Vero Gregory. Yay!
Hey, 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 hey.
Free taxi 4 times a month and 25% discount on your car insurance if you're the Zero Hero.
Yeah, I'm here in Marbella, but it says here I'm in La Canada.
If you haven't mastered the lingo, don't worry. Linear Director has a free GPS geolocator service that will come and find you.
Hey, 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 hey.
There There is a new law in Marbella that means that we may not walk around in bikinis or half naked around our streets. We want to get a little bit of decorum. But there are other things that we should also take into consideration, like what we're wearing when we're driving. My cameraman has even just said that it happened to him once. If you're wearing flip-flops when you're driving, you can actually get part of the flip-flop gets caught and you can't press the brake or you get stuck on the accelerator. It's very important to wear shoes that are actually fitted to your foot. So flip-flops are out. And young ladies, we have to also take this into consideration. What height heel are we driving in? Because actually these can cause problems. Please do take this seriously. Also, you need to be dressed when you're driving. You're not allowed to drive around without a shirt on. So there's little things that are actually logical. You should have both hands on the wheel at all times. Little things that make a big difference keeping us safe.
Hey, hey.
We were just chatting with Sandy, who is a member of MBI. As I said, it's a networking business club that started in 1982. And at the luncheon where I spoke the other day, I got to meet also this young man. His name is Philip, and you were a quantity surveyor. Is that right?
It is.
What
I
on
am.
earth, I'm sorry, as I say, I dare ask questions that other people don't because we're meant to know these things at our age. However, I'm going to be honest, what does a quantity surveyor do, sir? What is a quantity surveyor?
A
Hello.
quantity surveyor, Nicole, way back, was the right-hand man to an architect. So he was the cost man and contracts man who priced a building.
Aha.
The architect designed a building and the quantity surveyor costed that building.
Ah, a lot of responsibility.
Indeed. So from a financial and contractual perspective is what I do as a professional person. However, I've worked in the construction business all my life, but latterly in the energy and oil and gas side, and I'm actually the Americans refer to me as a cost engineer. So I'm more engineering.
So like also
based.
working out the cost of what it would do to
Correct. So-
exploit certain areas
So
and
from
develop them.
building hotels, apartments like in Marbella, I could build a refinery or a petrochemical plant or a gas plant. Or the big push now is LNG, liquefied natural gas. So I would write a contract and I would price it, millions of dollars.
Millions of dollars. What's it like handling someone else's millions of dollars?
Great, it's a great feeling. And also approving millions of dollars, which is what I actually did in overseas, because I've worked in most of the Middle East and also in sub-Saharan Africa. So latterly I was in Angola, so building an LNG plant. We're involved in the project management team.
When you were a little boy and you were at school, did you think that your life would take you through the experiences and adventures you've literally been privileged to
No
to
way,
live?
but I went away. I was, dare I say, had a private education where geography was very much paramount on my mind, and I wanted to travel. And I've been very fortunate in having seen a phenomenal cross-section of cultures and languages and fabulous parts of the world, primarily the Middle East and Africa
But
particularly.
you've lived in some very precarious areas. You've had to work there. What's that like when you come
Dangerous
from
place.
somewhere, you're privileged,
Yeah.
great education, nice life,
Yeah.
and now you find yourselves in these very interesting areas?
Well, yeah, Nigeria, for instance, I worked there for 15 years. In fact, when I first went, it was a very strong military dictator who was running, and then it went to civilian government 15 years ago. Yeah, tough, very hard on population, but again, security was tight because run by army. Angola was where I worked for 8 years was completely different than Nigeria, but again a different African country, but sadly they had been ravaged with 30 years of civil war, which was tragic. Again, Russia, I worked in Russia, in fact, on Sakhalin Island, which is even farther right than Siberia, which
Wow.
actually was part of Joseph Stalin's Gulag. It was actually a prison of war camp, the whole island. And it was off bounds, it was only the Russian army were in there, but again, a lot of oil. That's the 21st century fuel. We can't do without it.
So
Can't do
there's
with oil and
things
gas.
that you've seen and that you know that us mere mortals probably couldn't even begin to
That's right,
conceive
yeah,
of
that's right.
what goes on behind the scenes and what have you.
What is incredible, and I must make a big disparity, is we in the Western world we have a lot of money and we're miserable, but these countries I worked in, the poverty all around me, their life cycle is only based on 24 hours, yet they got a big smile on the face. They were happy with the lot. And,
That's something that we were talking about off air before. That those of us who live, for example, here, and how many people in Marbella can complain about basically anything, and yet you've come from countries that have nothing, no expectations, no hope, no privileges,
no water,
and yet they
no
do
clean
wear
water.
smiles, these enormous smiles. Why do you think it is? You've had this privilege of experiencing everything. What do you think gives them that difference, that edge? Why do you think it is that they're so much more appreciative than those of us who have everything?
Well, they wake up in the morning like my driver, and he used to get down on his knees and cross his heart and thank God, because really God was the only, or me myself, because I was paying his wages. I was going to look after him. Nobody else was going to look after him, and he was beholden to me. But he was a doer. He would carry out what I asked him to do, and I looked after him in fact, I looked after him for 12 years. In fact, I was his lifeblood.
Amazing, to see how coming from somewhere else, that what you consider as normal for someone else can make you, as you said, almost a god, that you are their provider and that you are their everything.
That's right. The government wasn't his provider. I was his saviour. Really, without him, what would he do? He would die pretty quickly.
What was the most challenging project you worked on?
Wow, that's interesting. Very interesting. I've worked on a number of very challenging ones. I would say the most challenging was actually when I went to Iraq. And I stayed in where the American base is, and I used to fly into Basra from Dubai, which was fantastic. And then I used to do a 2-hour trip with a fully armed escort. I was treated like royalty, actually, because I had 6 British Marines fully armed, and we used to go 2-hour drive into the desert. And I was working in an oil field, which was actually in a minefield, because it was a minefield from the Iran-Iraq war. So there was only certain corridors or ways in, and to actually construct anything we did, like processing facilities, we had to clear the area of mines. So in fact, the ex-British Army were in clearing mines with bulldozers.
So it's amazing you're even sitting here. I mean, really, the gift of life. You said that you wake up every day and you don't want to miss a moment.
Don't.
You want to make sure that every minute is planned, that you're making the most of it. Do you think it's because that you've seen so much near death, vulnerabilities?
Well, I want to see more. I live life. I want to see this. We were given God gave us a fantastic gift. Go out and explore and meet people and talk.
What kind of people do you enjoy meeting? Here in Marbella, it's a great opportunity for such variety.
There's phenomenal variety. I came here primarily for the sunshine, obviously, which I love, and also to have a passion for playing golf. But I'm a sportsman, so many sports. I'm a racket sportsman, so squash and tennis were my main. And what I love here, which is a fantastic sport, and I would advise anybody to get into it, is paddle tennis, because it's a hybrid of squash and tennis.
And it is so much fun. I'm a paddle player, I have to say. It's a nice mix between squash and the tennis. It's more social or closer.
Not enough days in the week, really, because you've got every conceivable type of boating, from water skiing, yachting, power boating.
But you're semi-retired. I don't think you've completely retired. You're still dabbling.
No, I still want to work, and I'm working on a business which I can let people know my website. There's no
yes,
problem
please
with
do.
that.
What's your website? What's the business about?
Well, it's actually health products, because I've always been into sport, and I used to take a lot of vitamins when I used to play at a high level in squash, because I used to be a county player 40 years ago in squash in the UK. So I've always known about vitamins and nutritional supplements. And it's all to do with well-being and lifestyle, and all this product I'm selling is aloe vera, which most ladies know a lot about aloe vera, probably know far more than I do.
Well, we're lucky because we have aloe growing.
That's correct.
Locally.
In fact, I believe there's something like 200 different species of aloe vera, but this is a particular type where they strip the gel. The company strips the gel out of the leaf, and it goes into a patented system, and you drink it. It's It's a drink for a kid.
And that's what's keeping you looking
Well,
so good and healthy?
And also, well, hopefully, yeah, and the sunshine. Yeah, I'm trying to look after myself. I try and eat the right things, fish, I love the right diet.
Well, you've definitely got a nice selection of places to come
There's some
and
fantastic
eat in
places.
Marbella. But like here in the harbour, and I have to say that we went to celebrate Lily's birthday to the playwright in Ilveria. Oh my God, it was so good. And the menu's different, and that's nice as well. Have a little bit of variety, not have the same thing, and that's what I think Marbella offers for you. No, the variety of living every day. Here you can do something different every day.
There is. Like the Beatles. There was 8 days a week in the Beatles week. I wish there was 10 days in my week. Only 7. You can't do
Well,
everything.
that's something to work from. A 10-day week for Philip. I'm sure you deserve it. It sounds like you've had like a 14-month year every year, all the different things you've done.
Yeah.
So
Well, I like to keep. I hope I will continue. I've got to keep myself in shape.
it's important though to keep yourself busy
Oh, yeah.
and active.
But
and
you've got to keep body and mind and stay positive. You've got to, and feel good. You've got to feel good. You've got to wake up good and.
And it's nice that you not only have a group of friends, but you have this MBI club, and that you all meet up together and you support each other with different projects.
It's
I think
such
it's
an
lovely.
incredible diversion of people from different interests and walks of business. Right.
From what I saw at the luncheon the other day, you all compliment each other beautifully. It was an honour to be there with you, and I hope we get a chance to chat on the show with other members of MBI, because really, club started in 1982. I moved out here in 1980, and knowing where you guys have come from and knowing how you've all helped contribute to developing Marbella to make it what it is today, I think is something that is noteworthy to say the least. So thank you
You're
helping
very
make me Marbella and your Marbella what it is. I love living here too. Pleasure to meet you, sir.
You're very welcome.
And to have a chat.
Thank you very much.
Philip Marsh.
Hey, hey.
Free taxi 4 times a month and 25% discount on your car insurance if you're the Zero Hero.
Hello Marbella, it's Amanda from Silk and Thin here, and today I'm dealing with a problem that involves a family, or rather a family that's become splintered. Jane contacted me. She's been married 20 years and she has a son of 15. And about a year ago, her husband told her that he'd been having an affair, and basically he left the family home to set up house with the new lady. Now obviously Jane was very upset. The 15-year-old son stayed to live with Jane in the family home, what had been the family home. And obviously Jane was in shock. Her son, John, was also in shock. Suddenly this relationship that they both took for granted, I would imagine especially the son being 15, is more interested in his own life and computer games and what's going on around him. And suddenly his world was falling apart, as well as Jane's world falling apart. Now, often in these situations, you find that the children, especially if they're teenagers, find it very, very difficult to deal with the partner that's left and their new partner. Now, in this situation, in Jane's situation, at first that was the case. And Jane and John, her 15-year-old son, clung to each other and comforted each other. They arranged a way that he could visit his father, spend weekends with his father and his father's new partner, who's actually quite a lot younger than Jane is, and nearer John's age than his father's age. Now, usually, as I said, there is a great closeness between the partner that's been left behind, i.e. Jane, and the child. Unfortunately, in this situation, John, at 15, now coming on 16, has gone off the rails. She knows he's drinking, he comes home smelling of drink, his grades at school have fallen, the school's contacted her and told her that, you know, he's not doing so well, he's getting into fights in the schoolroom, and basically Jane doesn't know what to do. She's contacted her ex and said, look, you need to help me with this, but they've only just started having a reasonable relationship together. And another thing that's caused the problem is that John has turned round and said to his mother, I'm going to go and live with Dad. I don't want to live with you anymore. You don't let me do anything. All you do is have a go at me. And so Jane is doubly grieving. She's doubly lost. Her son seems to be moving away from her, as well as her relationship breaking up. Okay, the relationship might not have been perfect, but she didn't realise there was another woman, that her husband was having an affair. So she was in shock. She's settling down now and getting herself together. And her main worry is the situation that her son's going through. Now, John, at nearly 16, is obviously very confused. He feels a great fondness for his father. They've always got on very well and done things together. But obviously, when he goes and stays with his dad, they go out and do fun things. He's allowed to stay up later than Jane would allow him to. He's allowed to do things that Jane perhaps wouldn't allow him to. And she's actually found out that he's drinking at home with his father and his new partner. Now, in a way, if he's going to drink, doing it in a safe space, at home, under the eyes of a parent, is preferable to him going out and going into a bar or something and drinking. But it's not ideal for a young man of that age, not ideal at all. To start on alcohol at such a young age is not a good thing, at least not in the way that John's drinking. He's coming home quite drunk, falling over. He's also bringing lots of people that Jane doesn't know. He seems to have changed his set of friends and be running with a very fast set that are sort of slightly older than him and are misbehaving, and he's fallen into that troublesome set. Now, Jane is at the end of her tether. Her ex isn't being very helpful. He is saying, well, if he prefers to be with me, so be it. But he doesn't actually want John to move in permanently with him and his new partner. And so Jane's in a quandary. John, her son, is saying, I don't want to live with you, Mum. You're too strict. All you do is tell me off and stop me doing things. Dad lets me have fun. But Dad doesn't want John to live with him full time. I would imagine he wants to spend time with his new partner, and the idea of having a teenage boy around constantly when they're in the honeymoon phase of their relationship is not easy. Now, this is a very difficult situation. I have recommended that Jane stays in lots of contact with her ex, and that also they possibly look at family counselling. They can find this out through local counsellors. There are counsellors here that specialise in family counselling. Perhaps the school should help. She definitely needs to ask the school for some help and explain the situation to them. But she needs, if possible, to keep her temper and not lose her temper with her son, which is what's been happening. Understandably, she's so worried, she gets angry. He turns up at 3 o'clock in the morning drunk. She screams at him, feels awful, her son feels awful. Now, we'd like your views on this. Please email us in. Email me at amandasilkensin, or email me at Marbella Now TV via Nicole, and we can look at this problem. I think it's something that a lot of people suffer from. Anyway, at the moment, as I said, I'm recommending family counselling if all parties agree, including the new partner. And I'm sure you agree with me. We wish them, Jane, John, and her ex and his new partner, all the very best of luck at sorting this problem out and becoming a family, even a separated one, again. Thank you for listening, Marbella, and please let us know your views. It's goodbye from me, Amanda, and I look forward to speaking to you soon. Bye-bye, Marbella.
Free taxi 4 times a month and 25% discount on your car insurance if you're the Zero Hero. Having beautiful restaurants like the Harbour makes it so easy to go out and wine and dine. The important thing, though, is that if we have been wining when dining, that we don't drive if we've got more alcohol in our blood than is legally permitted and is safe. In Spain, the blood level allowed for alcohol is much lower than in the UK, and I think some people, just on one glass of wine, are actually over the limit. Now, to help us be safer on our roads, with now 147 different nationalities signed up to the town census. Linea Directa, together with the Road Traffic Safety Foundation Linea Directa, is offering the people who have their insurance policies with them free taxis up to 4 times a month. That's once a weekend, boys and girls. That means we can go out, and if you've got their car insurance with them, which is also discounted if you are a United Nationalities of Marbella supporter and you have the code, they will take you home up to 4 times a month in a taxi, and they will also take your car in a tow truck if you want to not have to go back the next day to pick it up or remember where you left it. The other incentive that they are supporting is the Zero Hero. We have lots of bars, clubs, restaurants and discotheques who are now Zero Hero establishments. If you have the Zero Hero sticker, then people will know that you are offering free drinks to the designated driver. Now, businesses that have jumped on board, first the boardwalk, always put things, pass them by Cara first to see what she thinks. The boardwalk, the harbour, Beckett's, the playwrights. Also, we've got, let me think now, Kempinski Bayer Hotel and the Urban Villa Boutique Hotel are also in Ambrosia, and the list goes on. Go to MarbellaNowTV.com and check out all those places. You can go wine, dine, dance and have a good time, but the person who is driving all those others who have been drinking will not only be rewarded, they will be the Zero Hero.
Hello everybody, welcome again to our wonderful program and to my little spot for AAA. Most of you know my name is Lily and I represent AAA, which is a dog and cat rescue center here in Marbella. Currently we're taking care of about 400 dogs and about 200 cats, so they're all waiting for a loving home. And every week I introduce a doggy for adoption. Today I have with me Izzy. She's a tiny little Chihuahua. She's about 2 years old and she was left behind by the owner because the owner passed away, and the family from the owner really couldn't take care of her because they worked long hours, and little Izzy needs a loving home. She's a bit very nervous at the moment because she's had quite a bit of trauma, of course, as you can understand. She's in foster right now and she will be taken care of, but we're really looking for a stable, loving home for Izzy so she can get back to normal again, and get relaxed and start loving somebody else again and feel very safe, because that's very important for Chihuahuas. Chihuahuas very often are a little bit miedo, a little bit scared, but when they start loving you, and they'll follow you everywhere around the house, and they're lovely little things to have around. So Izzy is up for adoption. Again, she's 2 years old. She still needs a sterilization operation, but that'll be done very shortly, so she is available. Contact AAA if you're interested in Izzy or any of our other dogs. As usual, as I say, we have 400 dogs, big ones, small ones, little ones, old ones, young ones, and they're all waiting for a loving home. It's the most important thing for any animal to be in a nice home where they are loved and where they can love back, because that's what they love to do. That's all they do. And as you will probably mention or notice by now, is that it's going to be very, very warm. And we've already had several reports, also from other countries, that dogs have died left behind in a car. It is absolutely not possible to leave a dog in a car. The temperature in a closed car, even if you have the windows open, but in this type of weather, in this type of temperature, the temperature in the car will go up to 50 degrees within 10 minutes. And the dogs will just fry to death. It's absolutely horrible, horrible. And some of them have already passed away because people left them in the car just because they were going to do just a little bit of shopping and left the windows open, but still there is no air, there is no wind, and the warmth will just stay in the car and kill the dog. So please be careful. If you have a dog, don't leave it in the car. Leave it at home, leave it with somebody else if it's difficult, but do not leave it in a car. Even not in a closed parking lot, even not for about 5 minutes. Some dogs will go very, very quick. They dehydrate within minutes. And of course also, when you walk your dog in this heat, be careful to walk on the grass or on the sand or wherever, but watch the floor that you're walking on, because tarmac and stones and tiles will heat up tremendously and they will burn the feet of the dog as well. So test with your own feet. If it's too hot for your own feet, it definitely is too hot for the dog. These are some of the warnings that are very important, and that will happen a lot in the summer. We get a lot of reports like that. So I can never say enough. Be careful in the heat with your dog. Don't let them dehydrate. Have a lot of water available for them anywhere, in your home, outside the home, wherever they are. They need a lot of water, not in cars and not on hot stones. Please remember that. Look around. If you ever see a dog in a car and it's having a difficult time, please contact the police or contact some people in the area. You're legally allowed to knock in the window of the car if a dog is in problem because somebody left it behind. So please look around you in this weather. Take care of the dogs and the animals, because for them the hot summer is a very difficult time. If you want to come to AAA, we're open every day from 10 till 5. In the month of August, we will close a little bit earlier because of the heat. So come before 2 o'clock, please. If you're interested in adopting a dog or look around, come to AAA anytime. We love to help you, we love to see you, and the dogs love to see you, and they're waiting for a loving family to be adopted. For now, I'll say goodbye. Remember, don't shop, adopt. And I'll see you next week with another doggy. Goodbye from Ziggy and me. Bye.
Hey, hey.
There are so many advantages when we help each other. I'm always predicating hashtag better together, but it's true. If we join forces, we can really do so much for one another. And I'm so delighted that the Linear Director Road Traffic Safety Foundation and Linear Director Car Insurance, or the insurance company, supports Marbella now, because I can then tell them all the things that go on in our community, and I'm so proud to say they actually listen and do things for us. They taxi 4 times a month with no charge if you insure them, to take you home, your car in the tow truck if you want to. Well, they're even going further than that now. If you use our special United Nationalities of Marbella supporters code, you get an additional 25% off your car insurance, your motorbike insurance, and your house insurance, just because you are hashtag better together.
Hey, hey.
Hello Marbella, it's Amanda here again. And I'm just going to talk not about a problem today, but I want to talk very quickly about something we're going to be covering in the following weeks on Nicole King's Marbella Now programme. Now, anyone who's watched regularly, hopefully, has possibly seen problems that I've talked about where women and men, but most especially women, a funny thing that, feel not good about themselves, don't feel positive, whether it's because of age, weight, style, depression, whatever, but don't feel positive about themselves physically. Now, in the next few weeks on Marbella Now, we are going to be talking about little tricks you can use to make yourself feel good positively. Make yourself physically feel good and bring out the very best of yourself. I'm not saying I'm Gok Wan, but there are many things we can do, just small tiny things that make the best of ourselves physically. Now, these won't be things for other people. We are talking about doing things that make you feel good about yourself, even though they're physical things. Now, for example, today I'm filming and I feel absolutely naked because I haven't got any perfume on. And that sounds crazy to most of you, I'm sure, but it's one of my rituals. I put perfume on, I know I smell nice, so therefore that makes me feel good. It's that sort of thing. It's little tips that bring out the best of yourself, that make you feel good about yourself. And we're going to be covering this in the next few weeks. Just little things, especially in the summer, how to make yourself feel great, whatever size, age, relationship status, whatever. How we can feel good about ourselves physically. And it's not a sort of ephemeral thing. People say, of course, emotional and mental health is most important, and physical health, obviously. But feeling good about yourself physically can help you feel good about yourself emotionally and mentally and give you more confidence. And confidence is a very, very important thing. So watch this space, because we're going to have some tips coming up and it's going to be quite interesting. They're very easy. It's all about making the best of yourself and your assets. And we've all got assets. We've all got beautiful parts of ourselves, even if we don't like those things. We can change them. We can narrow down the parts we don't like and open up the parts we do like, and therefore build our confidence and feel good about ourselves. They're very simple. As I said, perfume. Little tricks like, for example, if I wear shorts at my age, I'm in my 50s and I do, highlighting legs to make your legs look slimmer and feel good. If you've got a curvy figure, don't hide it up with baggy clothes. A nice tight belt to cinch you in and show your gorgeous hourglass womanly figure. This is all about feeling good about yourself as a woman. Okay, we might mention the men a bit, but it's particularly for the women. But feeling good about yourself and making the most of yourself for yourself, not for other people, but for yourself. Because it's important to feel good about yourself. And as I said, feeling good physically can help you feel good mentally. And the aura of confidence is the sexiest, most attractive thing in the world and appeals to everybody, male or female, and also makes you feel good, which is the most important thing. If you feel good, other people around you feel good. It's like you pass off positive energy. So watch this space, Marbella, and pick up some tips, and it's going to be fun, great fun. So thank you for listening and watch this space. It's goodbye from me, Amanda from Silk and Sin, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye, Marbella.
Hey, hey.
A big thank you to the Harbour for hosting Marbella now once again. It's such a privilege to be here. The views are spectacular and the food's not bad either. And also a big thank you to the cast of this week's show, who every week help make Marbella now what it is. It's all about you, what's going on in our city, and the people who make it so very, very special. We'll be back next week, but if you'd like to watch recordings of this programme, hear again the Me Marbella radio show, or follow my column in the Euro Weekly, please go to our website, marbellanowtv.com. And also, you'll find there a list of our Zero Hero establishments where you get rewarded if you're the designated driver. The Harbour is definitely one of those places. Take care, be nice to each other. Hasta mañana. Bye!
It's a brand new day.